these constituencies were saying, we need to give the Democrats a wake-up call. Tell all your friends to vote for Scott Brown. We need to make a point. I don't think they made the point they meant to make. But the anger is out there and it's real. Now, I know, and you know, that there are real solutions, that if government focuses on the lives of regular people, on working people, on middle-class people, that our government can be part of turning our economy around and be part of the solutions. But that's not what's being said on the airwaves, right? There's all this anger on the ground, people who feel like government isn't paying attention, you know, whether we're looking at $26 trillion that the banks have in loans and loan guarantees at the federal level. We look at the state level where they just gave a $50 million tax break to Liberty Mutual. Now I don't have anything against Liberty Mutual, but they clear $84 million a month. They didn't need our $50 million. And what did they agree to for that $50 million? 600 jobs over the next 20 years. Year 18, they create 600 jobs. They've met their obligation. We needed that $50 million, and we needed that $50 million. You've been talking about multiplier effect. We needed that $50 million here. We needed it for our small businesses who create jobs. We needed it for our municipalities who are cutting jobs and cutting services. And the underlying issue is, and I didn't know this until the market crashed, and we heard this from economists pretty much across the spectrum, 70% of our economy is the spending of regular people. 20% private sector, 10% government. Now, none of us have the money that we had 10 years ago, or almost none of us. And if you go back 20 years ago to folks who are in a similar status position, whatever your status is, they had more money than we have now. And what that means is, yeah, the economy dropped off the cliff when the market crashed, but we've been down this road for a long time. If cutting taxes for huge corporations and cutting taxes for the very wealthy turned our economy around and really made it boom, you and I would be seeing the best economy the world has ever experienced, because the Bush administration took us as far down that road nationally as they could, and guess what? It tanked the economy. It destroyed jobs. It destroyed our access to health care. It's hurting all of our public services and all of our jobs. And obviously that strategy doesn't work. That's why I got in the race. Because I know we can talk about infrastructure development, but you want to talk about multiplier effect. Guess what has the best multiplier effect? Food stamps, of the ones that the federal government measures. Why? Well, logically, because you're putting money in the pocket of folks who are going to spend it tomorrow, because they don't even have enough money to make ends meet. And the money they're spending, the food stamps they're spending on food, are helping our local farms and our local agricultural businesses on the one hand, and on the other hand, now they have a little other cash that they would have spent on food stamps, and now they go out and they spend that locally. It's not getting sent to their account in the Cayman Islands. And so what that means is, when we prioritize us, when we say what little government spending there is has to go into our local economies, then we start turning things around. Now, 300,000 jobs, we're down 300,000 jobs, little difference in the room about what our figures are, but say 300,000 jobs. We lost $58 billion in the last 2 years because of the foreclosure crisis. And I want to thank Senator Spilka, who's here, and Senator Morrissey, who was here earlier. I spoke with him. The Senate in the legislature made a unanimous vote on an anti-foreclosure bill a week ago. Now, unanimous votes don't happen in the Senate, but they got it. Our legislators got it, that we have to do something about the foreclosure crisis. And I appreciate that. Healthcare, it's sinking everybody. We can look at the percentage of who's covered. The issue is, how's it getting financed? Is it getting financed? Can we afford it? Great that we've covered some folks, but what about the municipalities that can't pay their health care bill? What about the small businesses that are choosing between trying to be productive and whether they keep insurance or not? What about the individuals who are stuck in the private market for insurance? That's a nightmare. So we actually have answers. Some of us have worked for more than a decade on single-payer health care, right? Folks are like, oh, socialized medicine, right? We're going to hear about that for the next several months. No matter who's talking, we're going to hear about it. What we know is that in the United States, We have one of the shortest life expectancies of any industrialized nation in the world, and that's the best measure of our healthcare system, except once you get to be 65. If you make it to 65 in the United States, you have the longest life expectancy in the world. What happened between 64 and 65 is not that everybody's suddenly gone on a health jogging, plan and are eating better. They entered Medicare, a uniquely American solution that gives us the best life expectancy in the world. We can do it at the state level. Canada did it province by province when they went over to their version of single payer, and we can do it as a state. And we have the capacity, we have to do it.